Hello everyone, welcome back. We're gonna go ahead and do some Mardu nights. We played a few games tonight. We beat in Teamer Clover. We beat in Bant Yorion, and we lost to a very
interesting Abosh deck, blue-red like flash Abosh deck. That was kind of cool. So yeah, 2-1. We're 2-0 against like meta decks. So that's that's always the goal when you're playing a deck is make sure you're beating the metagame decks. Whatever lost to some random deck, but overall, it's not a deck you're going to see very often. It's almost certainly not a deck you're going to play in the day 2 of the thing tomorrow in the best of 3s. So,
agreed.
Not super upset about that one.
But nonetheless, we're going to do a quick deck tech really quick for those that don't know what we're playing. This is called Mardu Knights. Yep. This is a Lurrus deck, obviously. I'm not playing nothing but 2-drop creatures or less.
Yep.
And a few interactive spells, which we'll go over as well. Yep. Starting with the interactive spell called Fight as One. This card says we get to target a human, or we could target a non-human, or we could target both. Yep. And they both get +1/+1, gain indestructible until end of turn. Those who play cycling probably are familiar with this card. It's in almost every sideboard, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Fight as One's been, honestly, after the first, week or two of Standard, it's pretty much been in sideboards of aggressive decks all the way till now. So, it's pretty common. But yeah, with this deck's main decking it, you just want a nice little combat trick to keep your guys alive. This deck's playing more white mana than most of the other aggro decks have been, so it's able to do it. And yeah, it's a kind of an aggro staple in this format. So.
Yep. Very been happy with this card. There's situations where it's not good.
Yeah, but if you draw a bunch, it sucks.
Those situations are actually very minimal, in my experience. With
we drew 3 of them against blue-red or whatever in game 1, and that sucks. Like, you don't want to draw a million of this card, obviously, because then you're not putting creatures into play. So, but other when that happens, no, it's usually quite good.
I agree. And then we got let's jump into the 12 1-drops we have in this deck for creature-wise. We have a Venerable Knight. When this creature dies, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on another target knight we control, which, ironically, we have a bunch of.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 1 mana 2/1. Typically, those are pretty good.
Yep, I remember it was an Expedition Envoy or something.
Yep, it's basically just a better Expedition Envoy.
Yeah, it was the human back in the day.
There have been a million of them. Yeah. White 1 mana 2/1s are just
pretty simple.
As old as, a tale as old as time in Magic, really, so.
A card I'm a big fan of. I've been a fan of this card since it got printed, and that's Knight of the Ebon Legion. It's in the 1/2 Vampire Knight. It has 2 in a black. It gets +3/+3 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. At the beginning of our end step, if a player has lost 4 or more life this turn, we get to put a +1 counter on this Knight of the Ebon Legion. Now that interesting clause, we've actually taken 4 damage in a game, and boom, we get a counter.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to always, when I, some of the early Standard events, before Throne even came out, one of the first Standard events, I played a red-black aggro deck with Rekindling Phoenix and Bantu and this guy, Gutterbones, stuff like that. And it was a deck that played Shock in it. And there were very, very rare scenarios where I actually thought about shocking myself with a shock land and then also literally shocking myself with shock to get that trigger. I don't think it ever came up, but it was something that I thought about. Last night or whatever when you were testing this deck, I saw you Dire Tactics a thing and lost life, and then it also shocked yourself for the turn. And then you got the trigger, so that was kind of random, cool synergy with Dire Tactics.
100% agree. And then we got Fervent Champion.
Yep, Fervent Champion, just a classic, solid 1 mana red card. Haste, first strike. Super good in this deck because when he attacks, he pretty much pumps every creature in the deck.
Yep. So, and then, my favorite card in the deck, we have Worthy Knight. 2 mana, 1 generic, 1 white. Whenever we cast a Knight, we go ahead and get a 1/1.
Card's sweet. Lets you go wide, and it helps you drain people out with Corpse Knight, which is really nice.
Oh, I agree. One card that's really good in combat is Black Lance Paragon. Flash, 3/1, 1 black, 1 generic. When it enters the battlefield, target Knight gains Death Touch and Lifelink. I've killed plenty of Aboshes and Umoris with this deck. Well, not with this deck, but with this card.
Yep, this card's awesome. I remember early Throne Standard before the Golos Field deck got popular. I was playing a mono black deck, and yeah, this card is really sweet. Just getting to randomly use it as like a Doom Blade, flash it in, but you also gain 3 life, kill pretty much anything that doesn't have evasion, and then, really nice combat tricks. So,
Yeah,
really
agreed.
cool card.
The only adventure card I believe we have in the 75 is
Yep.
Smith and Swordmaster.
Yep.
It's a 2-drop, 1 black, 1 generic. It's just a 2/1 life linker, but its adventure side is we gain X life, and each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of knights we control.
Yeah, again, another way to just get people down. We also have shield breakers in the sideboard, so we actually have 5 adventures.
Okay,
yeah,
you're right.
But yeah, I mean, just another way to kind of cheese people out if you can't quite get those last few points in with combat damage. You can get it in through burn, pseudo burn. Drain.
Yep, agreed. And then we got Corpse Knight. It's on the way, just like I said, when we get in the board stalls, we use Corpse Knight along with Worthy Knight. They synergize really well in draining, because whenever a creature is the battlefield under our control, each opponent loses 1.
Yep. Super good with the Worthy Knights.
Yep.
It's pretty, I mean, it's, solid 2/2, gives you a little bit of reach, so.
Yep, and then the last creatures in our main board is Inspiring Veteran, just an Anthem effect,
Anthem for
1
knights.
red, 1 white, 2/2, make other knights get +1/+1.
Yeah.
Simple, effective card. It's pretty easy just to explain what it is. The non-creatures spells in addition to the fires one, and we have a couple dire tactics in the main. This exiles a creature. If we don't control a human, we lose life equal to that creature's toughness. Cool thing, Worthy Knight actually makes human, so most of the time this card actually is turned on where we don't take any damage.
Yep.
And then we got a couple unbreakable formations. We got to respect like Shatter. It's really good against other creature matchups because we just go bigger than them.
Yeah.
And we get indestructible and vigilance till end of turn. So being able to just be like swing willy-nilly and not have to think about it.
Yep. Just really strong when you have a board of 1,000,000 or whatever from Worthy Knight.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Give them all +1 counter. So many times against like Gruul, Yamori, and stuff, I would just draw this. I would just play it during my main phase, and I'd be like, all right, combat, swing, you do the math.
Yep.
It's
always
math
nice.
is for blockers, right?
Yep. Especially when all your things are indestructible and vigilant. So.
Yeah, for sure. As we mentioned, this is a Lurrus deck, so of course we have cards like Deadweight. We have a couple of those. Good reanimating,
recursive removal, nice.
Hits the smaller creatures, hits other Lurrus. Possible Purifying Light.
Yep.
Pretty good. It's a usually sideboard card that we have for the sacrifice matchups.
Yeah, any black creature deck, all the Lurrus decks, most of the Lurrus decks, you're going to bring this in again. You probably wouldn't bring it in as cycling, but you might even bring it in as cycling.
Actually, it's fine against cycling because
it's a little expensive, but yeah, it's still probably good enough.
Yeah, because you hit some valuable cards.
Yeah, it's fine. Then after him, we've got, like we talked about before, 2 Shield Breakers. It's another adventure card, blows up artifacts, and it just happens to be a knight too, so that's kind of some random bonus.
Some interactive spells. We have the additional copy of Dire Tactics. We already mentioned how good that card was for the deck. A couple D-Sparks. Got to respect Fires of Invention. That's big card right now. The card that we both said in our podcast that we believe might be going come Monday.
And Winota too now. I mean, oh my goodness. Winota really took off in Standard today in the best of 1 format, and I'd imagine it will continue tomorrow in the best of 3 format. The deck is really just a different version of the historic deck. People just kind of ported it right into Standard, and now we're dealing with it in Standard 2, and enough's enough. That card is ridiculous. It's really not fun to play with at all. It's not very interesting. The mirrors are total, just not. It's not fun. I hope they get rid of it. I hate that card. I've had enough of it already, and I've really only been seeing it for like a few days.
Right,
so
for sure. For Drobits, it's kind of an easy inclusion.
Oh yeah.
Drobit's better than Duress in my opinion right now. Hits creatures.
Yeah,
you gotta have
more clean. Yeah, more clean. Pretty easy to trigger it in the stack. So yeah, and then we have the one of Chance for Glory, which is just a really sweet trick when you want to like all-out attack 2 turns in a row, or when you want to blow out a Shatter and then kill them on the following turn or whatever.
Big fan of it in the Yorion matchups, especially on the play. On the draw, a little awkward.
Less so, yeah.
But on the play, Chance for Glory is something I take a chance on.
Yep, nice. All right, so yeah, let's.
This is we're just going deck tab. Our next video is going to be the matches, and we'll be kicking it off for sure. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button below if you want to keep follow for the rest of the videos. And not tune in, we'll be having match 1 shortly.
All right, I'm gonna go.